All right, what's going on, everybody? G Funky Boxing is back. Thank you all so much for joining. This is the it's not a prediction video, guys, okay? It's not gonna be a prediction show. This is gonna be just a preview and just let's just talk about the fight, the trilogy, what it means, and just enjoy, what we got here with this thing, with these two gentlemen that you see right here. Two fights already in the books. Both have been very, very special fights, no doubt about it. And they're getting ready to have a trilogy this Saturday from Arizona. Wish I could be there, man. I really wish I could be there, but maybe, maybe for the next trilogy, I'll be there for the next great one and stuff like that, man. But a friend of mine, and you guys know him as well, he's been here on his channel, uh, 97 Rough, will be there, man. Lucky dog. So he'll be there for the fight, and should be a great time, guys. All right, I'm gonna say what's up to everybody here in the chat. Drummond for Life is here. My man El Cheeto, round one. Faux Tex, what's up, guys? Don't forget to hit the like button. And guys, is my poll still up? I think my poll is still up. Let me check. Yeah, I can see it here on the YouTube page. Let's check it here. So far, 5 votes. We got who wins the trilogy? Estrada, 60%, 40%. Chocolatito, man. We'll wait and see, man, as more people roll in, what it's going to look like. But, I mean, geez, guys, like, the reason why I decided not to do a prediction show is because, like, or, guys know how I like to break stuff down. Like, really, what is there to break down here? Like, let's just enjoy this one, man. I am going to make an official pick. All right. Don't have to worry about that. But I mean, we already know so much about these two fighters. There's really no need to even do a breakdown. What's going on, Renee Box Young? How you doing, man? You guys check out my guy Renee Box Young here on YouTube. All right. But look, I want to address a few things real quickly. Okay. First thing I want to say is this. We are officially in the last month of the year, right? November. I had another amazing year as far as growth. Over 100 new subscribers, 30,000 views, guys. I want to thank you all for supporting me. All my new subscribers, I appreciate you all. It's been one hell of a ride this year. This has been by far my best year as far as views, subscribers, everything goes. Probably the most videos I've ever put out in 1 year has been this year, and it's been fun, and it's just been strictly boxing talk. I'm not talking about narratives other people are saying. I'm not doing clickbaits. I'm not doing race baiting. I'm not doing the fanboy thing, right? I'm not starting drama with other people. I'm just keeping it strictly boxing, man, and it's been fantastic. All right. Currently, let me check real quick. Currently, I'm not that far from 2,000 subscribers. Let's see. Right now, I am 145 subs away from 2,000. Thank you so much, Renee. I appreciate that, man. But look, I'm going to try to get there in this last month. Going to do a big push this month. There's a lot of fights. So, yeah, that's the goal, to get to 2,000 by the end of the year. And if not, definitely in January, I'll get there. I know for sure. But I'm going to push as much as I can to get there. Fotex says, I'm sad to announce I'm officially not a fan of Mexico. They disappointed me. You must be talking about the World Cup. Guys, I apologize if my internet is going in and out right now. It's been doing this pretty much for like the last hour or something. I really don't know what's going on. But hang in there, guys. It will clear up. Another thing I wanted to say. 2 days ago was the anniversary of the last show, the very last HCP is War. And now some of you guys might have been around during that time. Some of you might be new, don't remember that show, but I used to do a show with my brother D-Style Boxing. We used to call it HCP is War Uncensored. And a couple days ago was the anniversary of the very last show. What's going on to my big sis, Lisa Bells? Huge supporter of the channel. I appreciate you for stopping by. And look, guys, It's been over a year, like I said, since the show ended. And that show was about debunking narratives and going at bad content that's out there, you know? And look, a video was passed my way recently from an LDBC channel. And look, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but stuff like this, just you have to get it out there, you know? You just have to get it out there. And there was an attack on Teofimo Lopez and his family, and it's one of the most awful and disgusting things I've ever heard in this boxing community. And that says a lot. That says a lot because I've heard a lot of nasty stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and play this for you guys. Just the audio. I'm just going to play it one time and that's it. But stuff like this, you have to get it out there because we have to direct people away from this type of nonsense, man. This does nothing for the sport of boxing. It does nothing good for our community. It's just awful. So we'll listen to it one time and then that's it.
So his crackhead ass daddy ain't off limits. That little kangaroo neck ass bitch you guys ain't off limits, and that damn baby ain't off limits.
Cece, no, for the meat, don't do that, don't do that. That's enough. That's enough. Cece, that's enough.
Awful. And look, I want to give credit to the host for actually saying something to that woman, because the other two guys did absolutely nothing. They just sat there with their fucking mouths closed and didn't say anything. Awful. Over boxing? That's what we're going to do? Ridiculous, man. Anyways, big shout out to my sis, Lisa Bells. Appreciate the $10 super chat to G Funky, my brother, and chat. Keep grinding, little bro. Oh, I will. This thing, I've been here 11 years. This thing won't be stopping anytime soon. And that's because I just keep it boxing, right? So when you talk about that type of nonsense, right? That's not going to last forever. My man Kamikaze is here. All right, what's up, brother? I know it's awful, isn't it? It's awful. Renee says, yeah, people take it too far when they attack people personally. Man, that's horrible. Yeah, absolutely horrible. They're gonna go after the man's baby. You know, before I end this, like I said, I don't want to spend too much time. But look, any of you gentlemen out there know, right? And I'm not trying to be sexist because I know my sis Lisa Bell's there. But men, if you ever worked in an environment where it's a man type job, I'm talking like manual labor type jobs, right? And you're around other men, you know, there's back and forth, there's trash talking, there's jokes, you know, you crack jokes on each other. And look, I'll tell you this. I would always tell people like, look, I'm fine with jokes about me. You want to say jokes about me? I'm good with that. That's fine. But my wife and kids, no. Don't talk about my wife and kids. You say whatever you want about me, right? Just don't talk about my kids. Make jokes about me. That's fine, right? There's a limit to this shit, okay? And that's just going way too far. Way, way too far, man, okay? But anyways, let's get into this thing, man. Let's get into it. Again, this is not going to be a prediction show. We're just going to talk about the fights, man. We're just going to talk about the fight. I'm going to check the poll one more time. 10 votes. It is still the same. Estrada, 60%. Chocolatito, 40%. Don't forget, if you haven't voted, make sure you vote on the poll. I'm going to switch it up a little bit later, but I want to get your guys' picks on who you think is going to win. If you voted, let me know also in the chat. Put your pick in there, man. I want to know who it is you're picking to win this fantastic trilogy between Juan Francisco El Gallo Estrada versus Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. Great fights. Let's start with the champion, Juan Francisco Estrada, 43 wins, 3 losses, 28 KOs, okay? 32 years old, from Mexico, all right? 5'4" with a 66-inch reach. He is an orthodox fighter. Now on to the legendary, the man, the myth, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, 51 wins, 3 losses, 41 KOs. 35 years old, from Nicaragua, Managua, 5'3", 64-inch reach, and he is also an orthodox fighter. So we got ourselves a classic close stance, orthodox versus orthodox fight here. My man Kamikaze says, I appreciate that, man. I try to do my best, to keep it boxing. My man Renee says he's got Estrada. Lisa Bell says she is picking Chocolatito in a close decision. Kamikaze asking me, how did you score the second fight? There was people saying Choco got robbed. No, I'm glad you brought that up. Because to me, the fight was too close for anybody to say it was a robbery, man. Too close. Same thing with the first one. And again, when you got guys that are this good, and in these type of weight classes, they're small, they throw a lot of punches. Like, it's really hard to determine how much of that stuff is really landing clean. Both guys had their moments controlling the ring, fighting at their pace. It's really, really hard to score these fights. I'm not gonna lie. These back and forth fights like this. And that's why I'm like, I'll listen to anybody that says, you know what? I had Chocolatito winning, but it was a close fight. I'll listen to that. But when people come on and say, he was robbed, no, I don't think so. If you thought he won, I have no issue. None. But it was a close fight, man. Just like the first one was a close fight. Let's see. Let's check the poll again. Let's see if we got any more votes. No, nothing new yet. Still 60-40 in favor of Estrada. Let's see here. Renee says Choco has been through too many wars. I said that about him in his last fight against El Rey Martinez, and boy, he made me look silly. Joke was on me that time, He made me look absolutely silly. Even though I think Choco won the last fight, I think Estrada will come out victorious. The thing with this, man, Estrada looked like shit in his last fight against Argy Cortez. Now, could it have been Argy Cortez just had the night of his life against Estrada, or was it Estrada just not looking good? Right now, I actually scored that fight 6 rounds apiece. The only difference was Estrada got a knockdown, and one of the judges scored it exactly the same as I did, and that's the only thing that saved him, was the fact that he got a knockdown. The other 2 judges, I believe, had it 7 rounds to 5, 115-112 for El Gallo. But I'll tell you this, Estrada, he is historically, he is a slow starter, and he had a terrible start to the Cortez fight in his last fight. Took him about 5 rounds to get going, and he lost all 5 rounds. To me, those first 5 rounds, he clearly lost because he wasn't doing jack shit in those rounds. Now, shout out to Argy Cortez when he trains with, I believe he trains with Nacho Berenstein, who is the legendary trainer out of Mexico City. Trained some great fighters, man. Chiquita Gonzalez, Ricardo Lopez, Juan Manuel Marquez. I mean, the list goes on and on. These guys he trained. But yeah, that's the thing that makes me question Estrada. Was it him just having kind of an off night and starting slow? Or was it Cortez that was just having the night of his life? Because Cortez himself, in his last fight against Lopez, he looked like shit. He looked like shit in that fight. So, that's kind of got me like messed up in the head when I'm thinking about this fight. That's really got me like my head just spinning, Lisa Bell says Chocolatito has good defense and fights well in the pocket. He absolutely does. Yes, it was definitely a close fight. They are evenly matched. Renee says, yeah, Bernstein is a legend. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That guy is like one of the best to ever do it, man. And one of the best trainers out of Mexico. And Mexico has got a great history with boxing, or in boxing, I should say. And he's a big part of it, So let's give it up for Nacho, all right? And Nacho Bernstein. Let's give it up for the legend. All right. But again, let's talk about this too with Lisa's point. She talked about Chocolatito's defense and his pocket game, right? Absolutely. I agree 100% with you, what you said. He's got that really nice high guard. It's active. Not only does he, let me back up a little bit here so I don't hit this mic, but you see him coming in. He's getting his head, on the line, off the line. He goes, side to side with his body movement. Hands are up, moves him around to try to catch shots, right? He's not just strictly high guard. Like when you see him fight El Rey Martinez, this is his high guard, Martinez, just there. And then he, boom, boom, explodes out of it. That's, again, where you see Chocolatito moving his head side to side. Like I said, getting the head on the line, off the line, giving you different looks, shifting his hands around for defense, to catch, block, parry. The pendulum steps, though, the way that he comes in, to me, that's one of the best things about his offense, because when guys let their hands go, a lot of the times they'll get in there and then they kind of smother themselves, or they'll get squared up sometimes. Chocolatito, when he gets guys reeling, they're going back, like, he just continues to pendulum step to get closer and closer. And we've seen that a lot in the rematch. And if you guys don't know what that means, it's like, again, picture a pendulum, swinging. That's the feet. Boom, boom. He's coming in. But again, that's one of the best ways to do it, because your feet stay apart, right? Because you always want to have you never want to have your feet together, because you're squared up. You could get knocked down that way. And again, you don't get good leverage on your punches. But again, the pendulum steps that he does are just beautiful. I love it, man. Chocolatito. And again, sometimes when you get stationary, like the way that Martinez did in the last fight, that's when he gets on the inside. He'll shoot over and rip uppercuts underneath into hooks to the body, get on that angle on the shoulder. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. It's Chocolatito Mexican style. Well, look, I'm going to talk about that in a minute, Boxing Magic. Just give me a second. What's up, Bruce Goes, man? I hope you're doing better, OG. I hope you're feeling better, man. Good to see you around. That is a good sign. So glad to see you here, man. Glad to see you here. Yeah, we're just doing a little bit of talking about this trilogy here. But look, as far as Estrada goes now Boxing Magic, he has the classic Mexican style, right? And again, trained by Nacho Berenstein. So he comes out, he works behind a hard guard as well. It's not as active as Chocolatito's, but it is active, right? He's not just, like I say, he's not just here. He'll paw that left hand out, kind of see what you're going to do with it, try to get some reactions out of you. Has a great jab, boom, boom, doubles up with the hooks to the body, brings him up top. And he's also good at pull counters. I noticed that when I went back and watched the fight this morning, that, again, with those pendulum steps, right, and the pressure that Chocolatito brings, right, and he was doing a fantastic job of catching him while he's pendulum stepping in with hooks, with right hands. El Gallo was doing a good job of sliding back himself, right, and then landing right hands as Chocolatito's jumping in, right? Now, again, the pendulum step is good when you're attacking, but a good fighter will pick up on it, A really good fighter will pick up on it. And the Mexican style thing, let me address that real quick, because a lot of people just think that Mexican style is just brawling, take three to land one type of fighter. Like, no, that's not Mexican style. I'm sorry. What you see Estrada doing is Mexican style. All right. Marquez, Mexican style. Barrera, Morales, right? Canelo. That's kind of turning into a new style, right? We didn't really see a lot of Mexican fighters fight that way. That's kind of the Reynoso style, where, again, high guard and they just explode, right? They show it, open up, show, flash the guard, see what you're gonna do, and then they try to counter you. It's a good style, don't get me wrong. But as far as like the true Mexican style, again, to go back further, guys like Salvador Sanchez, Ruben Olivares, like the classic Mexican style, Ricardo Lopez, that's Mexican style to me, man. Brawling and taking three punches to land one, that is not Mexican style. It's not, okay? Renee says, yeah, style is quite misinterpreted nowadays. Absolutely, it is, man. It absolutely is. So, but guys, let me check my poll, man. If you guys are here, just coming in, okay, we got a couple new votes on the poll. Let's see here, 58% now for Estrada, 42% for Chocolatito. So we got a couple of new votes for Chocolatito in the chat. Really appreciate you guys voting on the chat. And again, let me know in the chat who you got. Okay, let me know. Renee says, I really like Canelo's style. Yeah, it's quite new and different. Yes, it is. And, you know, I like to call it the Reynoso style. You know, he's developing his, and again, his other fighters, they fight very similar, you know, so he does teach, you know, one way of boxing. I mean, which is it's not bad, you know, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but he does definitely, you know, teach them all kind of that explosive, explode out of the high guard type of style. And also, if you remember, if you ever heard Ryan Garcia, who used to train down there in that gym, would tell you that they work on a lot of tricky shots. And again, that's because they try to get you to open up, right? You see Canelo do it. He's applying pressure, walking forward, have his hands open sometimes. And then sometimes he'll lean in over the front foot and then close up real tight just to kind of see what you're going to do, you know? And then, bam, he'll open up if you open up on him, you know? So it's a good style. Don't get me wrong. Deadly Punch says, yo, what up, G Funky? First time tuning in to a stream, but big fan of the content. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, man. And don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to vote on the poll. We got 2 more votes. Oh, my God, guys. It is at 50-50 right now. 50-50 after 14 votes. Wow. Yeah, it's it's one of those kind of fights, man. It's just one of those kind of fights. So I'm going to do this right here for you guys, all right? I'm going to do this right now because I've been talking too long to myself, all right? Guys, phone lines are open. There's the number on the screen as well as these 2 gentlemen right here. All right. But if anybody wants to give me a call, 916-572-1020, hit me up. Let's talk about this fight. Please, guys, 1 call at a time. If you hear me on the phone with somebody, wait till they hang up and then call right then and there. All right. Excuse me, didn't want to cough in your guys' ear. But yeah, no block calls, none of that stuff, okay? Because there's trolls out there, and I'm not going to give them the time of day. But yeah, hit me up, guys. Let me know what you think of this fight. Kind of crazy how this trilogy has kind of ended up, because the first fight was one of the most highly debated and highly talked about fights in the YTBC 10 years ago, 2012, when the first fight happened between these 2 gentlemen. Yeah, it was a popular fight to go back and forth with people, you know. There's a lot of people out there that are saying that no one cares about this fight because they're the little guys and stuff like that. Like, I mean, look, if you don't care about this fight, then I don't know how you can call yourself a boxing fan, you know? I just don't. And like, I want to give some credit to my brothers, Los Tres Chingones Boxing. I've done shows with them. They've been here. I featured them on my channel. But they were live a few hours ago. And my man Cholo Trucker, who's the host of that show, he made a tremendous point. And us as the hardcore fans, all of you guys, man, all of you have to do this, okay? Because boxing is hurting for fans, right? And too many times they're focused on the big fights, the big names, and they don't live up to expectations, right? But my man Cholo Trucker mentioned this on his channel, and he's 100% right. Get your casual friends, tell them about this fight, because this fight is going to be a barn burner. It's going to be a dandy. It's a can't miss. It's going to be all action. So this is the type of fight that you want to tell your casual friends about. Say, this is boxing right here. This is the stuff that you need to be watching, all right? My man High Low in the house with the $2 super chat. Appreciate you, my brother. He says, G Funky, the home of boxing. That's right, man. That's where we keep it boxing here, and we enjoy keeping it boxing. All right. Kamikaze says, I was 14 when the first fight happened. It's crazy. Might have to go rewatch it again. It's been a while. You know what, man? Why not? You know, if you ain't got nothing to do and you're up late night or something like that, hey, pop it on, man, and enjoy. Get yourself some popcorn, you know. But it was a highly debated fight back when I've been here since 2011, making content. And yeah, it was a hot fight. It was debated for years and years, you know, and then we finally got it last year. So it took about 11 years to get the rematch, you know. Renee says, dang, this fight will really attract casuals. Yeah, this is the one. If you got casual boxing fans that say things like, man, I can't watch boxing because the fights are boring or blah, 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 stuff like that, this is the one you want to get them to watch. And then they might just, you know what? Hey, now I want to watch more. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Ricardo Noguera says, hey, man, Viva Nicaragua this weekend. Roman would win. Good work. Oh, you're from Nicaragua. Okay, nice, man. Nice. Yeah, I have friends that are from some of my best friends in life. They're from Nicaragua, and I know they're very excited for this fight, man. Prior to the pandemic and all that, anytime Chocolatito would fight, we'd get together and watch it. Before that, Ricardo Mayorga, you know, anytime he fought, we got together and watched the fight. And I love those people, man. I love them. They're like family to me. And yeah, I wish I could have them over this weekend. But yeah, it's going to be a great fight, man. And this is the one that you're going to want to tell your friends about. You have to tell them that, again, to create more boxing fans, this is the type of fight that you need to get them to look at. Renee says, Amo Williams is fighting on the undercard for a title eliminator. Yes, he is. He absolutely is. Yeah. So is young kid out of the Benavides camp, Diego Pacheco, is fighting on the undercard. And El Rey Martinez, Julio Cesar Martinez, is the co-feature. So some young talent, some contenders, and we have a championship fight, unification bout happening in the main event. I just recently, well, I shouldn't say recently, it just hit me. Bam Rodriguez moves back down to flyweight 112. So this fight, the WBC title is on the line, as well as the WBA, I believe, which Estrada has, and the Shane Douglas franchise belt as well. So there's 3 belts on the line in the main event, and I believe the Ring Magazine belt as well. I'm going to contact Dougie Fisher on that to make sure, but I'm pretty sure that it is. By the way, check out my interview, Doug Fisher. Great interview, great guy, man. I met him last month here in Sacramento when he does the commentary for Thompson Boxing. I went to that show, I covered it, and really nice guy, man. Gave me an interview. So yeah, make sure you check that out. All right, check that thing out. But yeah, I'll ask him to get for sure to know if it is for the Ring Magazine belt. Let's see. I hope Sonny Edwards and Bam Rodriguez. Oh, that fight's got to happen. Has to. And I think it would do good numbers because they're both pretty popular for the lower weight classes, you know? See, where are you from in the USA? I was in Frisco, California for 6 years. Back in Nicaragua working, having fun. Girls. Boy, you something else. Now, I'm in Sacramento, which is not far from San Francisco, about a 90-minute drive. But yeah, my friends that are from Nicaragua, when they came here to the United States, they were in San Francisco as well, in the Mission District, to be exact, which is, there's a lot of Latinos there in the Mission District. I mean, it's like little Central America there, you know, and then you got burritos, spas, taquerias, every damn corner in the Mission District. Great stuff, man. I haven't been there in a while. But yeah, they're good people, man, you know. And I love going to the city, man. It's great, especially when it's hot, because it gets hot here in Sacramento, man. Some days we have like weeks where it's over 100, you know, and then you go to the Bay Area and it's like 70. It's got a nice breeze, you know, you're right there on the ocean. So great stuff, man. But yeah, Diego Pacheco. Let's talk about him a little bit. A young prodigy, a young prospect coming out of the Benavidez camp. He's looked pretty good so far. You know, I've been impressed with what I've seen from him. You know, one of the guys that they had in that camp, El Rayo Valenzuela, got knocked out in his last fight against Edwin de los Santos on the undercard of what was it? Andy Ruiz, I believe. Andy Ruiz and King Kong Ortiz. I believe that was the undercard. So I'm hoping you know, I wanted to see him come back this year because that was in September. I would have liked to have seen him try to come back at least one more time this year to try to bounce back from that loss to Edwin de los Santos, and you know, try to work out some kinks, work out the bugs there. But unfortunately, we know with PBC, they don't keep their fighters too active, you know, and that's unfortunate, especially for guys like that, because I think it's kind of hurting his growth, man. I really do. Let's see. So, man, I lived in on 30th Street and Mission in Frisco. Good time. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's good stuff. Mission District is always a great place to go and hang out and get some good friends. I mean, get some good food and hang out with some good friends, you know. Deadly Punches here says, my friend Angel used to spar with Diego Pacheco when Diego trained at TG Boxing Gym in California. Ah, okay. Yeah, TG Boxing. That's it's a pretty popular gym here in California. I know quite a few fighters fight out of there. El Yuyu, Georgia Costa fights out of there, among others, you know. So yeah, man, good stuff. Good stuff there. Again, phone lines are open, man. If anybody wants to call, phone number is on the screen. Let me go ahead and check this poll. Oh my, 17 votes in now, and Chocolatito pulls in front. Wow. Estrada 41%, Chocolatito 59%. Wow, man. Chocolatito getting a late push here, man. I'm getting ready to take the poll down here in a few more minutes, guys. But again, I want to get as many votes as I can on that bad boy before I close it down. Yeah, I believe he is 168 pounds, Renee. I believe so. But don't quote me on that. You know, I'm getting old, man. So my memory is not as good as it used to be. But I do believe he is a super middleweight. You know, I do believe that. So look, this trilogy, man, that we have coming up here. Do you guys think that? Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to wait to ask that question because I'm going to end the poll and then I'm going to take another poll on the question that I almost asked you guys right now. Okay. But do you think that this one here will live up and be talked about like other trilogies out there that we've had in the past? Like let's just kind of stick with the Latino theme. Okay. Morales and Barrera fought 3 times. You know, Barrera, he wins that trilogy 2 fights to 1. Shout out to my man D-Style if he's listening. He was a big Morales fan back in the day. I was a big Barrera fan. So of our times doing shows together, we would, you know, talk a little trash to each other about about that. But you know, overall, a great trilogy. And all 3 of those fights, very, very close, controversial. Some of them, like I honestly felt like Barrera should have got the win in the first fight. D-Style feels very strongly that Morales was robbed in the second fight, you know, and then the third fight was again another good fight, very close. But a fantastic trilogy, you know, and we'll go down in the history books in Mexico as one of the best trilogies, man, out there. You know, Pacquiao Marquez, yeah, 4 fights they've had. Really hard to top. You're absolutely right. Full of controversy, too, all 4 of those fights. Renee says, man, it's hard to say if he'll live up. The thing here is that Morales and Barrera had a genuine feud, which added to the whole rivalry. You're absolutely right. Those guys didn't like each other outside of the ring. You know, man, Fotex is thinking about it. You know, I think, yeah, it's you know, I mean, I feel like somebody, in order for it, I have a feeling because both the first 2 fights were so close and so, I don't want to say controversial because there really was no controversy. It's just fans were really, really debated it a lot, you know, because the fights were close, man. And I think the fighters themselves would agree with that. What's going on, Toby? How you doing, brother? I think somebody is going to have to really try to pull themselves away in this last fight because, again, both fights were so close. I don't feel like either guy really separated themselves in the first 2 fights. So close, you know, and such good fights. So it's going to be hard to top. But I have a feeling that one of these guys is going to really try to step on the gas and try to pull away and let it be known for sure that I'm the better man in this rivalry, you know? That's what I think, man. And look, something that you want to look out for because again, Estrada, this guy right here, right? He's a slow starter, man. Look, there's no excuse for him to have a slow start Saturday night. There's nothing to figure out about Chocolatito, all right? You've fought 24 rounds with this guy already. There's nothing else for you to figure out with this guy, all right? You should know him like the back of your hand by now. Same thing with Chocolatito, you know? So I anticipate these guys coming out and trying to make a statement tomorrow night. I mean, Saturday night, excuse me. I'm getting way ahead of myself, guys. I can't wait. I'm jumping the gun, all right? Lisa Bell says, HBO built the Barrera Morales trilogy. Oh, they absolutely did. The first fight, you know what's crazy, Lisa, is I'm sure you remember this, but the first fight was on HBO. It was HBO Boxing After Dark. So it wasn't even featured on HBO Championship Boxing. And the reason for that was because people thought that Barrera was done. I remember that shit, all right? Look, he lost 2 times to Junior Jones, okay? Bad style matchup, right? Every fighter has that fighter that's just going to give him hell no matter what. And Junior Jones was that to Marco Antonio Barrera, okay? But people thought he was done after that. And because Morales stopped Junior Jones after that, people were thinking that Morales was just going to run right through him, you know? Turns out that wasn't the case. Turned out that first fight is one of the best fights of all time. And it was on, again, HBO Boxing After Dark. Then both guys continue to win impressively, right? People still like this is the thing with Barrera, man. All right. I don't want to go off on a tangent, but look, here's the thing with my guy Barrera, okay? They think he's done after the Junior Jones fight. He comes back, has an absolutely sensational fight against Eric Morales in the first fight. Then they take a few fights in between before they rematch. Then he fights, right? His first time on pay-per-view, had the main event against Prince Nassim Hamed, and he's a huge underdog, right? Let me tell you how much of an underdog this guy was. Me being a Barrera fan, I didn't think he was going to beat the Prince. I didn't. I thought the Prince, being a southpaw, being very unorthodox, I mean, that's just 2 things right there. A southpaw and you're unorthodox. Had a great chin, had crazy power for those weight classes. He was knocking people out like crazy, right? So my guy was a huge underdog, and he dominated that fight. So then from there on out, the next two fights ended up being on pay-per-view, but HBO did a fantastic job. You're absolutely right, Lisa. A fantastic job building up those two fights. Renee says, I honestly feel Estrada KOs him. Hey, I had a feeling last week too. Didn't turn out too well for me, but hey, it is what it is, man. It happens. Let's see. Fotex here says Pacquiao versus Morales. No, because Morales was weight drained in the second fight and didn't put up much of a fight. Let's see. Boxeo Latino says Chocolatito winner by KO in the 11th round. Let me check the poll again real quick, guys. 19 votes now. And oh my God, Chocolatito is pulling way ahead. 19 votes. 63% for Chocolatito, 37% for Estrada. Man. What a comeback. All right. Let's see. Fotex says, sorry, Triple G should be allowed in this discussion. Oh man, round one says the Prince versus Barrera is such a fun fight to watch. Man, let me tell you, that's one of those rare times where I was happy that I was wrong about a pick. All right. Because I honestly did not think he was going to beat him, man. I really didn't. The Prince was so awkward, so unorthodox, and a southpaw on top of that with crazy power and, again, a chin. Because Barrera hit that dude with some hard left hooks. And I'm not talking about just like a couple. He was landing big, hard left hooks to the body and to the head all fucking fight. And Prince took him. Man. Dude had a chin. And look, speaking of chins, Barrera took some shots too. Prince landed that left hand. Barrera took it. Lisa, Barrera has better fundamentals than the Prince. Yeah, absolutely. And that always pays off. See, that's to me, that's a good example, guys, of when you're in there with someone who's very unorthodox, right? And tricky like that. Stick to the fundamentals. Let me highlight that comment, Lisa. Stick to the fundamentals. Like Lisa's saying right here. Eventually it's going to pay off, right? And not only that, go back and watch that fight. You guys hear me talk about this often. When there's an open stance fight, right? Orthodox southpaw. Lead hands are touching, right? That fight right there is a great example of lead foot dominance, right? Remember how many times Barrera was able to land his jab. And again, he's the orthodox fighter. But look at how many times he was able to land his jab. I remember there was a round where he landed a triple jab, pop, 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 over that right shoulder of Naseem. And that's because he was able to get that lead foot dominance. He was on the outside. And Prince had no fucking clue what to do with that, man. He was like a lost puppy dog in there with that. GGG and Canelo, yeah. I mean, the first two fights were good. Third fight, not so much. Let's see. Triple G had also the so-called Mexican stuff. That's funny. Yeah. Let's see. Round one says, I like when Barrera did the body slam. Yeah. Well, because remember, Naseem threw him on the ground first. Well, actually didn't throw him on the ground. They got into a weird grappling thing, and then Naseem got his arm around Barrera's head, and then they both went down to the canvas. And I think that was in round two when that happened. So yeah, then later on in the fight, Barrera got him. They got into again another grappling thing, and he was behind Naseem, and he kind of slammed his head into the corner. Shout out to Barrera. All right. Toby here says Nas was the guy back then in the UK. I used to watch his fights in the pub, and the pubs would be packed. Oh boy, I could imagine. I bet that was a fucking great atmosphere, because that dude's fights were always fun to watch. And he was big here too. Man. I mean, look, they put him on pay-per-view. They put the guy on pay-per-view here. Like, to me, I think that's the first time since I've been watching boxing that guys at featherweight, because I believe that fight was at 126 pounds, were featured on a pay-per-view and the main event, But man, I would have loved to have been in those pubs, bro, drinking pints of beer with you guys, shooting some darts, I bet that was great times, Toby. God, I could just imagine. See, the body center reminds me of Montana Love. Oh, yeah, he was looking to punch his ticket to WrestleMania. Man, he won the Royal Rumble, but that's next month. Montana Love a little bit early, but let me check the poll, and I'm going to end it. Okay, it's right there, 19 votes. Same thing. So Chocolatito right now, as far as the live audience goes, he wins the poll 63% to 37% for Estrada. So let's give Chocolatito a hand for winning the poll tonight in the live chat. And again, guys, if you're watching this archive, let me know in the comment section. What do you think? So I'm gonna put another poll in here real quick, guys. And I want you guys to vote on this one, okay? Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Something happened here. Give me a second, guys. All right. So let me fix this. Oh, there we go. All right, let's see the poll. New poll is up, guys. All right. New poll is up, and I want everyone to vote on it. The poll is, does this fight end with a KO, with a knockout? Okay. Let me know in the chat, yes or no. If you're picking yes, I want to know who you think is going to get knocked out. My man Renee has already told me he thinks Estrada, or he has a feeling that Estrada is going to get the knockout this Saturday night. Let's see here. Lisa Bell says, the Prince was very entertaining. His balance wasn't the best, though. Great athletic specimen. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Defense, I mean, really broke a lot of rules, man. I mean, just leaning away from, remember, he would do this in front of his opponents with his hands down, and then when they would come in, he would just lean back. Like those are breaking every rule there is to break. See, Messi versus Canelo would have been an epic trilogy. Don't even get me started on that, man. Oh man, would have done his bicycle kick on. No, they know each other too well. And Renee says yes, he's going with El Gallo for the knockout. Okay, 5 votes, guys. 5. 60% say yes, it will end in a knockout. 40% say no. Wow, I'm surprised at that. I'm surprised, man. I am very, very surprised. Okay. Lisa here says no, they know each other well. So I'll say split decision or majority decision. It's tough, man. I could see that. I could see that, but because like I said, both guys, these fights are so competitive and so close that I just have a feeling that one of these guys is going to really try to push for it, And I don't know, man. We'll see. One thing I do know for sure, I know this for sure, that this fight is going to be fantastic, man. That's what I do know. 6 votes now. It is 50-50, guys. 50-50 that the fight ends in a knockout. Man, you guys are great, man. I appreciate you guys participating, hanging out here with G Funky Boxing here late night on a Thursday. All right. Same thing goes for someone goes through the ropes. Oh, does someone get knocked down? I don't know. I think if someone goes down, I don't think they're going to get up. Toby says he's going with split decision. Chocolatito. What's going on, Puerto Rican rum in the house? What's up, brother? Vote on the poll, guys. Somebody coming to my house. Okay. New vote. Does this fight end in a KO? 43% say yes. 57% say no. So more people, again, leaning towards a decision, which is understandable, But I just have a feeling that one of these guys, again, like I said, they're going to try to make a statement, man. They're going to definitely try to make a statement. And I ain't mad at it because it's going to make the fight that much better. Gonna make it that much sweeter in the end too, because we're gonna finally, if it ends in a knockout, that fighter can finally say, you know what, I am the better man for sure. If it goes to decision and then it's a close fight again, and it's like a lot of you guys are saying, split decision, majority decision, we're gonna still have that debate. You know, and who knows, might be a fucking fourth fight. Which again won't be the worst thing, right? So yeah, let's see. It says they ain't known for that one punch power. No, they're not. But I feel like they both really do fight in a manner of they want to use their skills, you know, to win these fights. Which is exactly what you want to do. But I feel like they might throw a little caution to the wind this time. You know, maybe they're just tired of looking at each other, tired of having their names connected to. I'm tired of this dude. You know, I want to get him out of here. I want to put this guy to bed. I want to put this rivalry to bed. You know, and hey, I'm for it, man. Either way, it's going to be a fantastic fight, man. Either way, and like I said, both fights have been sensational already, and both have been highly debated for years, especially the first one, man. Especially the first one. That is like one of the most famous fights in the YTBC, right? Because the YTBC's only been around for about, 15 years now, I believe. I've been involved in it for 11 of those 15 years. I'm a veteran, all right? But yeah, I remember going back and forth with a lot of people in the comment section because there was no ability to go live back then. So everything was in the comment section, or if you were a content creator, you could make a video, right? And then somebody can make a response to you, which was kind of cool, you know? And the cool thing about it back then was you could just put like the title of someone's, let's just say someone made a title of video said, Estrada was robbed against Chocolatito, right? This is again 10 years ago. You could literally go into their comment section and make a response video. And it will post in that video that you made a response to, right? Let's say I made, what's up, the Puro Sur? What's going on, bro? Let's say Puro Sur, right? Made a video 10 years ago and said the title of his video was Estrada got robbed in the Chocolatito fight, right? I could go into his comment section and click that option that says, would you like to make a response video to this? Yes. Record my video, and then my video will be right there at the very top of the comments for other people to check it out, you know? And it'll just say right? R-E, Chocolatito. Estrada was robbed by a Chocolatito, right? And then that was how we had back and forth back then. There was no dropping the links and StreamYard and stuff like that, you know? Let's see, I think in the end, a doctor stoppage, bad cut. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Okay, everybody just saying what's up to each other. Yeah, I love that. Love that, guys. Okay, 8 votes now on the poll. Does this fight end with a knockout? 38% say yes. 62% say no. Yeah, that was before Google took over. Absolutely, yeah. And look, I'm not gonna lie, it was still pretty fun back then, you know. Were there some basket cases out there? Yeah, but it was not as bad as it is today. Most of the people that would get on your nerves would be the people in the comment section, people that didn't make content, you know. Don't get me wrong, there were some big back and forth between channels back then, but it's nowhere near as bad as it is today, man. Nowhere near. It was more fun, I would say. Today it's more interactive, you know, which makes it fun as well, but there's also the bad with it, you know. Dropping links and things like that has really become toxic. You're absolutely right, Voltex. You're absolutely right. It's become very toxic. Very, very, very toxic. So, all right, guys, I'm going to end this thing here, man. I'm going to take down this phone number here. I appreciate all you guys being here again. 1 hour, is all I can do these days. Still busy with the kids, the baby, and stuff. So I appreciate all you guys being here, but I'm gonna make my pick. All right. I'm just sick and tired. I am sick and tired of Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez making me look foolish. All right. He's done it to me more than once. All right. I really did thought he was done going into this rematch, but man, he fought great. And then look what he does against Martinez. So I'm going to pick him to win. Okay. I'm going to pick him to win. I'm going to close this. I'm going to end this poll here. 62% say no, the fight will not end in a knockout. 38% say yes. So I'm going to end that poll right there. Fotex says, when is the casual boxing talk? I'm very casual. Well, today was casual because I'm not, I wasn't really like doing a film study. And I don't really do film studies because I don't want to get a copyright strike. But, you guys know I do show like sequences of fights and kind of tell you what I'm thinking, frame by frame, that is. And then, but I didn't want to do that for the show, man. I just want to have some fun with this show because it's going to be fantastic. Fantastic show. I want to say thank you to Lisa Bells and High Low for the donations to the channel. Appreciate you so much. And also, again, like my man Cholo Trucker said from Los Tres Chingones, they were live earlier today. Make sure you subscribe to them, by the way. He said if you got friends that are on the fence about boxing, casual friends, get them to watch this fight. All right? Get them to watch these two gentlemen right here because they're going to put on a show Saturday. It's a can't miss. It's going to be good. We know that. So make sure you get your casual friends to see this fight because it just might turn them into a boxing fan. And we know that we need a ton of boxing fans today. All right? So that's it, guys. I appreciate you all for being here. The 1 hour of power is over. All right. Thank you all for joining me and for everybody that's going to watch this thing once it's over. And if you're new, you find my channel, subscribe. All right. G Funky Boxing here. Enjoy this great fight that's going to happen this Saturday, guys. I am out.